Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today, here's what we're going to do. So, last night I dreamed about white wolves and white foxes, and that where they were being kept, the door was open. And I was spending quite a bit of time in the dream trying to make sure that the window or door was closed so they didn't get out. This was shown to me later in the dream as not such an important thing because people loved them. So, for you, the readings today are: what beautiful wildness do you have inside that you've been keeping inside, that you've been trying to make sure isn't showing outside, but that people would absolutely love if you did show this, and that would enrich your life and make things better. So, we have the White Wolf backs of 4 cards from the White Light Oracle. Feel into these cards. One of these will have a message for you about that for you. I will be then using some animal wooden thingies from a thingy to give an idea of how you can think about this aspect of self. And then I will be doing a reading with the White Oak runes, well, the Welderfuth Archon White Oak, and I'm going to top it all off with a Dragon Oracle card. So that's our recipe for today. So feel into the cards. One of these or more will have a message for you about something that maybe is a beautiful part of your wildness that you've been trying to keep hidden or keep inside or protected, that it's not such a big deal if it does show because people will love it. So, and you will feel happier and freer as well. So I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello, card number 1 people. So for those of you who chose card number 1, let's turn this card and see what sorts of things this aspect of yourself would bring to your life and to the world around you if you were to leave that door open and let it come out sometimes, if it wants to. Sacrament of Extreme Unction. So this is honoring the thing that is ending. So maybe there is something that is going on that is in a state of endingness that you are sort of holding back your mourning of because you're afraid of how it's going to look. Just you don't want to sort of have that happen. You're afraid to let that out. And it's a glorious, beautiful thing, and to do this, and so it definitely would be good to bring this out because it would allow you to sort of dance with this and spend time with it instead of burying it down and locking it up, because it's a necessary part of healing and moving on in your life. To give honor to the thing is it's like celebrating or having a little ceremony for a thing that is ending, and to reveal this side of yourself is going to be a very powerful thing for you. So I'm going to draw I don't even know how to call these. They're not runes. They're not cards. They're like little tablets of wood with animal names on them. So this will give you an idea of, now once again, once it's in your hands, once you take it into your hands, it could turn into a different animal for you, and that is fine. This is the form in which this is going to pass from me to you through this reading. So for you, the way this is going to take shape is a deer. So you can visualize this as a deer when you're working with it, just to connect with this deer aspect of yourself within, this pure wildness that you have that is wanting to honor the thing that is ending. So let's get some runes down and get some clarity on this. What do we need to know about expressing and allowing to show this aspect of self, which may initially take the form of a deer? I've got to move this a little bit over because these are long runes. Okay, and I'll move this over as well. Placement. I'm going to have to put this up here. I'm never prepared fully for how long these runes are. the same with the black walnut set that I have. Ah, lovely. So what this is something that, because it's something that's ending that you're dealing with, we have that sense of you're concerned about losing a sense of richness in your life and a sense of worth that maybe you're worried about losing. It's Fehu, it's the rune of wealth and worth. Wealth and worth in this is cattle, so it's the wealth that you tend, things that as long as you're taking care of them, they will enrich your life and make your life feel worthy. It's also inner worth and inner like richness. So you are also very concerned at this point of your sense of confidence, self-esteem, sense of inner worth, and the inner richness of your life. So you are concerned about hiding this currently dear. Again, once it's in your hands, it may turn into something else, but take the time to spend some time with this to really get to know it so that you feel more comfortable with leaving the door open, so that if it does want to peek out and be its pure wild self, you will know what it is and you'll recognize it and maybe dance with it a bit. So leading up to this, we have had a state of comfort. You've had a state of sanctuary, which is the Othala rune, which is the home and the homeland. So whether this is where you've come from before, where you're sort of like solid and keeping things under wraps and sort of maintaining this appearance of solidity and keeping this hidden, or whether this is what you're coming from before this was a thing that is ending, and you're very aware now that this is a thing that is ending, and you realize that this is not going to be what it was before. It's not going to necessarily be destroyed, but it's not going to be quite the comfort zone that it was because of the thing that is ending, and that you want to honor it instead of just rage. Although raging is a step, so definitely do that if you feel that it's necessary to do so. However, and please be gentle with yourself and others, but go through that, but also where you are in the state of what this deer is going to bring you is the ability to have that sense of ceremony where you are honoring the thing that is ending. What is going to help you is we have Gabo. Gabo's the rune of the gift. This has to do with an exchange. It's agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It could be one-on-one interactions. So if there is one other person or one other person's one-on-one along the line, like just not in a group, just sort of like if there are individual interactions that you need to do with people that you care about and trust, then that's also going to help you. But definitely to sort of give yourself, like, take away like this sense of everything at all at once kind of thing, where you actually are going to give yourself relatively not rigid, but where if your mind is overwhelmed, you can just turn to the plan and just say, I'm just going to do this, 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 and this, and have these agreements with yourself. So what isn't going to help you is just that sense of everything all at once coming at you. We have Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. It feels overwhelming, and that's why honoring it sort of brings it into a sort of ritual situation, and it gives it mythic status in your life where it has a beautiful, meaningful place, instead of just like everything coming at you and just feeling overwhelmed by it. That's definitely something that you need to acknowledge is happening, and it can drag you down if you let it. But if that is starting to really cause you problems, bring yourself back up to where you are saying, okay, this is why I put this plan in place. This is why I made these steps for myself, so that when things get overwhelming, I can just turn to my list and say, okay, where am I on this list? Let's do this today, and let's do this. But definitely taking the time to let this deer aspect come out and help you to honor the thing that is ending, and to give it that meaning level, and to give it that ceremony type thing, to give it mythic presence in your life, in your story, so that it's not as overwhelming, and it's going to be a pure wild you aspect that's going to come out in the form of this deer, or whatever it is. Once it gets into your hands, you might sit with it and it may turn into a different kind of an animal. That's okay. This is just how it's going to pass to you. what all this is going to lead you to is you're going to see the steps ahead of you. It may seem like a long road, and you may feel like you're moving between worlds, but it is going to be something that you're going to be patient with yourself with, you're going to be patient with the world with, and you're just going to take things step by step. This is IVAS, it's the Urn of the Yew Tree. This has to do with patience, slow growth, slow development, step by step, and sometimes moving between worlds, sort of balancing that. So finally, what we're going to do is pull a card from the Dragon Oracle. And sometimes these cards get a little bit, how do I put this? Woo-woo. And I'm not above woo-woo. I'm quite comfortable with woo-woo. However, I am going to phrase this and frame this in a way that is accessible. So do not worry if it's woo-woo. Okay. Green Gold Dragon from Sirius brings universal knowledge to your spiritual pathway. Learn about spiritual technology, be a transmitter of sacred knowledge. All right, here's the me translation. So this is what I was saying about bringing this thing that's happening that feels very, very chaotic into your mythic storyline, your internal mythic storyline, where you are basically making this a part of your deeper, more meaningful adventure as you move forward. So instead of it's just this thing that's happened to you, it's something that you are going to celebrate when it was with you, and you are going to honor it as it is coming to an end with the closure of it. You're giving it a denouement kind of thing. Is that the right word for this in this case? Denouement sort of happens after the ending, so maybe it's like a wrap up. So it is ending. So you're going to put that mythic layer on it so that it is, so that it fits into your already mythic storyline in a way that is meaningful for you. And this will give you that layer of what this is saying, that layer of universal knowledge, which I'm going to substitute archetypal knowledge, to your spiritual pathway. So on the spiritual level, this will be a part of your story that has great meaning for you, that you can look to, and that you will know that you honored in your life, and that will give you more closure than you would have otherwise. And from that, it will give you that sort of monument of wisdom in your life that you can turn to and that you can help others with if you happen to run into somebody who's going through the same thing. It's like, look, right, just honor it. Give it that closure for yourself, no matter what other closure is happening for it. There are other rituals, but to give it that time and to let that dear aspect of yourself that knows how to naturally and in a pure, wild way honor this thing that is ending, that will help you very, very much. And also in the future, you'll be able to look back to that and say, okay, if you run into anybody who's going through that, just sort of to gently give them that as well. It's like maybe doing something to honor the thing that is ending will help you the most. So that, card number 1, people, is your reading for Leaving the Door Open. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 2, people. So let's start by turning this card and see what it is that this aspect of yourself, this pure, wild aspect of yourself that you've been keeping sort of hidden, keeping contained, would bring to your life if you actually left the door open for it and allowed it to come out sometimes. So let's see. Karma of Kutuhala. So this is the wonder that draws us onward. That rush that it's like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I'm going to follow that. I'm going to run with that. So it's this sense of wonder. It's a sense of excitement, of being driven forward. And maybe that's been missing. Maybe you've been keeping it under wraps because you feel like you don't have time for that in your life. Like maybe you don't feel that you have room for that in your life. But it's very exciting, and it's an energy that you will love and that you maybe have missed in your life. So that's definitely exciting. Let's now go to this. I guess they're discs with animals on them. This is how it's going to begin. Once again, once it's in your hands, It may turn into something else, but this is how it's going to make its way from me to you in this reading. Coyote. Okay, so very excitingly, this is that almost nervous energy of, I want to find out, I got to find out, I'm so curious, and just the wonder of a thing that will drive you onward, and this energy that's going to be just very, it's almost being taken over by this spirit of I've got to find out. This is so exciting. I have to keep finding out, and I keep having to. I feel this drive to chase the wonder, and so that, and to celebrate it perhaps in song. So let's get some. Again, this is what it is, where it starts. Once you take this into your hands, this may morph into something else that is more suitable for you. It may not, but definitely give it the time to sit with it and see what it becomes for you, because this is the shape of the thing that you've been sort of keeping under wraps. I'm never prepared for how long these runes are. They're great, but they're long. Same thing with the black walnut ones that I have. Is it that one? Is it really? Is it that one? Okay. Ooh, what was the other one? Okay, I'm gonna include it. I'm gonna include it with this one. Okay. So your central issue here is right now you are feeling, you've been keeping this under wraps. You've been keeping this enclosed, and that's been good, and it's given you stability, but you're feeling a bit shut in at the moment. Leading up to this, you have so much energy. We have Sovila, which is the sun. It's the source energy. It's what always energizes you. So you have this going on. It's just, you're full of energy, but maybe in your life you've been made to feel embarrassed about this. Maybe in your life you've been made to feel like you need to stop. Maybe people are like, you need to be quiet. You need to stop talking, you need to stop fidgeting, all these cruel things that people do because they're not comfortable with who people are. But you have this energy, and you're so excited about things, and you're so curious. And so you've basically been able to keep these things, you've been able to keep the pure wildness contained, but at the expense of, you feel shut in, and you feel like you're just bursting at the seams. This Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. In this context with these other things, I'm seeing this as just feeling very boxed in. What is going to help you is let this internal birthing begin. We have Berkana reversed. Berkana is the rune of birth and beginnings. It's the birch tree. It's reversed, which generally means inner. So there is an inner incubation that you're going to be allowing for. And this is sort of like, given the context of the reading, I'm going to say it's like, you're just going to leave the door open at this point. It's like, okay, I'm going to allow this coyote to maybe notice that the door is open, and that I'm going to allow this to come out in its pure wild form, so that if it catches a scent of the wonder, it can maybe feel that it is allowed to now chase this down and be excited about things again. That's another thing. It's like, if you get excited about things and people don't aren't comfortable with you getting excited about things, and they could say cruel things and maybe make you feel like you have to lock up your excitement, and that's just, where's the life then? So to start very subtly and start very deeply inside. Plant that seed, basically. I'm going to leave the door open now. I promise that I'm going to leave the door open for the coyote, and that if the coyote sense the excitement and the wonder, that it might look at the door and notice that it's open, and it might come to the door and it might sniff out and peek and see that there's nobody guarding it, and that it's basically, now it's open. Run if you want to. Chase that wonder down. You have all the energy. If what isn't going to help you is, we have Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. There may be a sense of overwhelm. But also, I think, given what we've just talked about, I think you are worried about that excitement, that deep drive to chase down the wonder, and what it has done to you in the past, as far as what other people have reacted with. Obviously, we're not going to be doing anything illegal. Obviously, we're not going to be doing anything violent, but this is all about chasing down the wonder, being excited about something and pursuing it in a fully legal and not harmful way, please. But this might upset you, and this might make you think, but I've been smacked down before for doing this. But you are going to be allowing this, and you are going to be in a situation, these are adult readings, so you're going to be in a situation where you can tell yourself, you know what, I am now my chaperone, so if my coyote side wants to chase down the wonder, I'm going to go with it, and that's going to be very exciting for me, and I can finally use this energy that I've got built up. So if this starts to make you upset, bring yourself back up to just like, no, it's a new start. It's a new beginning. I am starting very small, and I'm starting very subtle, and I'm keeping an eye on things, but I'm going to let this coyote peek out, and I'm going to let this coyote chase down the wonder if it wants to. All of this leads us to the first rune that was thinking about coming out was Ansu's, which is the rune of communication manifestation. So you are going to be able to express what you've been holding back all this time. You're going to be able to express this, and you're going to be able to manifest things that you were perhaps holding back before. And this is going to give you a great sense of it's the stillness through which clarity comes. So you won't feel as fidgety. You'll finally be able to be still because you will be doing the things that are using the energy that you have. That is what it's for. And you will finally find some stillness. I'm not saying peace, because there's this energy that you have that is going to be like, that is your peace, like that you have this energy and that you feel at peace that you can use this in the way that you seem to be made to use it. But it's this stillness that you can finally have because you're using your energy the way that it's meant to be used, that is right for you. And then you're going to get this clarity coming through that you didn't have before, and this sense that you can be still now because you are using this. You chase down the wonder and you will feel very satisfied. So now let's go to the Dragon Oracle and get a card from there. As I said in the previous reading, these cards are a little bit on the woo-woo side sometimes. If that is the case, I don't have a problem with this with my own personal work. However, these readings I want to be a lot more practical, so I will frame it in a way that is more practical in the context of the reading. So what do we need to hear for this? Green Dragon helps you tune into the secrets of nature, receive answers and guidance from nature, align with your divine essence. Okay, thankfully, I don't have to do much reframing with this one because it's very much in keeping what we've been talking about. Your nature is very curious and very energized, and you want to rush and chase down the wonders. And so this is your nature that you're tapping into and you're tuning into, and this will give you answers. It'll come through you, and it'll come through your pursuit of this wonder. And this will help you to align with whatever you consider to be the divine, your divine essence in the world. So that card number 2, people, is your reading for Leaving the Door Open. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 3, people. So we're going to start by turning this card and seeing what it will bring to your life if you can open the door for this pure wild aspect of yourself that you've been keeping hidden or just keeping contained. So we have Ishtar Lionsgate. So this is about integration and rebirth. So this is basically, once you allow this pure wild aspect of yourself to have an open door and to come out whenever it wants to, this will allow you to integrate a lot of things. Like you will be more whole. You'll feel more, you'll feel that the things that you've done in your life will feel more integrated with who you consider yourself to be, because you'll be including this pure wild aspect of yourself. And this will lead to a great rebirth for you. So that's really exciting. And I am hoping that this is something that you will now take up and do. This is going to be, these little animal discs, this is going to be what it's going to be like just a shape that we can start with this pure wild aspect of self. Salmon, interesting. So, of course, the Celtic, the salmon is associated with, he's one of the oldest, if not the oldest creature, and it has to do with wisdom. So, but it's just this the perseverance and the swiftness and the swimming and salmon. So just this wild, it's going to start as a salmon. This is how it's going to get to you. Once it's in your hands, once you've taken it into your hands, it may turn into a different kind of an animal for you. But we're going to start with this as the salmon, this aspect of yourself that is very swift moving. It's very comfortable in the water, which is emotional states and intuition and just heart, that kind of thing. It has a very strong sense of time. It has a very strong sense of seasons, and it of course is it's associated with wisdom in the ancient Celtic pantheons. So let's get some runes down from the white oak and see. Ooh. The message. But really what you're going for here is integration and the rebirth that comes of that, because once you're completely integrated, it'll be like a whole new world for you. So right now, your focus, central issue, is Ansus, which is the rune of communication and manifestation. You really want to express, and it's been really difficult for you to express because you haven't been integrating this pure wild aspect of yourself that you've been keeping contained. Once you let the salmon out, and all of its wisdom and awareness and drive and just being able to thrive in environments of high emotion and in highly intuitive situations, this is going to be a way that you can express yourself more fully than you ever have before. Maybe people have considered you a bit too. I was just talking about the expression woo woo as far as intuition and all the spiritual things, and that's not a bad thing, but it does make some people uncomfortable, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why you contained the salmon for a while. But now, or even just emotional states of expression, maybe that's made people upset. But you are okay with that. So you are going for integration at this point. So leading up to this, we have Fehu. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. It's cattle, so it's the wealth that you tend. It's things that, as long as you're taking care of them, will bring your life richness and a sense of worth. It is upright, so there's it's like you had this whole setup going on where it's all the things that you've been taking care of very openly, that give your life richness, but there is that one thing, that emotional expression and that intuitive expression and that comfort with those things and the wisdom that you carry, and you're just almost just inherent sense of time and seasons and all of that thing. You know how to swim. Well, maybe you don't, but in terms of just how to move through these states of being, this is what needs to be expressed. And so you were looking to fully express this. What is going to help you is we have Othala. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. The fact that once you are doing this, you're going to feel very, very much at home in it. You're going to feel very, very comfortable. It's going to be very comfortable, and it's almost like it's a sanctuary in itself once you step into this and once you allow the salmon aspect of yourself to come out when it wants to. And just letting that integrate into a more complete and more sheltering home than you maybe had before. Just to really look at that. And I mean, it's almost as though it's saying, instead of letting the salmon out, maybe you should move in with the salmon. And the salmon, in its salmonness, will give you the sanctuary that you need to move around in the world. So, because people who don't understand it and makes them uncomfortable are always going to try to stop you. But if you're in there with a salmon and you're both in there, then there's nothing they can do. Anybody outside of that, like, you're both there being that, and just be that. But anyway, to basically give yourself that foundation, give yourself that comfort allow yourself the comfort zones that you need. And if this is the comfort zone that you have been missing, absolutely. Like you have everything, you have your worth and your value. However, it's very outer. You want to make that complete. So have that be your outer side, but then inside, and also expressing outward and shining outward and just communicating that and manifesting that is your complete self. What isn't going to help is to just continue not doing anything with it. And the fact that it's ice, E says ice, the ice rune relating to the salmon is to sort of just freeze that and try to make it numb and make it not be able to swim. And yeah, it's okay in those elements of emotion and intuition, but it can't move. And that's how you're containing it. It's just not going to help you. It's just not going to move you forward the way that you want to in a comfortable way. You're much better off to just sort of include the salmon aspect in your home. This ability to be totally fine in high emotional states and totally fine in intuitive states, and to be able to swim and navigate and have that wisdom without being ashamed of it. And this will all lead to the integration and the rebirth that you're going to have. What this is going to lead you to, as I said, the rebirth that you're going to have, but the rebirth is going to start very deeply. We have Berkana, which is the rune of the birch tree, and it has to do with beginnings and birth. It's reversed, which I generally see as inner. So you are, first of all, you're ending the thing that you were beginning where you're like, oh, everything's fine. We have just this outer image of everything is fine and everything is worthy and rich. So we're ending that. We're going inside to fill that in, because right now all that is an outside. We want to include the inside in who we are. But it's also like planting a seed. It's a very deep inner beginning. It's very deep, like almost an incubation phase that you're going to start. You're not going to bring this out all together. We're going to make this into an estuary. So we're going to go in deep and just plant that seed of, let's start small with integrating the salmon aspect, and then we will grow together and rebirth together into this new world, like this new life. So now, to close this, let's get a card from the Dragon Oracle cards. This is why I was talking about woo-woo, because some of these are a little bit, I mean, I'm fine with this. It's, it's just, but it's like a lot, it's very, like, at the woo-woo end of spiritual. People are going to get upset about this. I'm so sorry. Like, just, I am going to try to reframe this in a way, because these readings I generally want to be very practical and accessible to people. So whatever it comes up with, I'm going to rephrase as that in a way that is accessible. So Black Dragon cocoons you so your divine potential grows. Meditate, reflect, undergo a metamorphosis. This is perfect. I don't even have to reframe this. This is perfect. This is exactly what I was just saying with Berkana reversed. You are starting very, very deep. It's like planting a seed, or as the card says, it's like a cocoon. So you're cocooning so that your divine, whatever divine is for you, whatever the divine is for you, but whatever that is, so that this potential, your divine potential, grows. And this is going to take some time to meditate, reflect, and undergo this metamorphosis where you're going to be moving forward, including not just the outer, but the inner, and also this deeply wise aspect of yourself, this pure, wild aspect that's going to help you become integrated fully and have this rebirth in the world. So that, card number 3, people, is your reading for leaving the door open. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 4, people. So let's start with turning this card over, and we're going to see what it is that this pure wild aspect of self, if you allow it its freedom, will bring to your life. So we turn this, we have the Ivory Wish-Fulfilling Crow. So this has a few meanings that I'm going to relay. 1, when you wish for something, be ready to accept it. 2, become the thing that you wish for. And 3, the difference between taking and receiving, basically. So I'm really going to go with the middle reading that I said on this is going to be, once you let this aspect of yourself free, once you open the door and allow it to come out whenever it wants to, this pure wild aspect of yourself that you have been keeping contained, it will help you by integrating with you to become the thing that you've always wanted, basically. It's the thing that you've wished for. So let's draw a little wooden disc. I don't even know what kind of wood this is to see what kind of animal we're going to represent this with. Once again, I'm pulling this, and we're going to talk about it as though it is this, but take it into your hands. It may become something different that is more attuned to you. For now, though, this is how it has to move from me to you. Fox. I don't know if you know this, but fox is one of my most potent animal guides in my life. So if you see this, and that was part of my dream last night, was the white foxes that I had been keeping contained, but that it was a thing, and I'm happy that it appeared. So for this little fox, maybe you've been keeping this under wraps. Maybe you've been keeping your fox aspect hidden, but it's not something that you need to hide, and it's something that will really give you everything that you ever wished for if you receive it, and if you allow it, and if you become this, if you integrate this, you will become what you've been wishing for all along. So that's so exciting. I'm just so excited about it. So let's get some runes out. Ooh, neat. I think this one's been in all of the readings, or many of the readings so far. Wow, so's that. I am shuffling these. I think I need a bigger bag for these, though. They're really tight in the bag that they came in, but that's okay. Okay, so central issue here, we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. And this is not money necessarily. This is the wealth that you tend. So it's cattle. It's the wealth that, as long as you're taking care of it, will give richness to your life. It will give worth to your life. So that's really what you're focused on at this point. It's like you have wishes. You have wishes. And the thing is, what this card is saying is you are able to become the thing that you've always wished for. And if you allow your fox aspect to not be shut in and not be contained all the time, if you leave the door open for it so that it can come out whenever it wants to, you can have these things that you've wished for, and you will be able to embody them, and it's very exciting. And you'll be able to just, like, you're wishing for these things. You already have what you need. It's just a matter of accepting it. And once you integrate that, you will become what you need. Leading up to this, I feel like there's been a lot of, it's not necessarily people pleasing, but it's to keep the people around you happy, or what you consider, what you think other people around you want from you. You've sort of kept this under wraps, this energetic, perhaps sometimes moody, curious, because I often say, curiosity killed the cat is the expression, but curiosity probably kills more foxes. So because we have those big ears and they get stuck in things. So it's one of those things where, all these things that you are, that maybe you have felt that people around you don't appreciate, so you've sort of kept it under wraps. But if you allowed it to come out, you would find perhaps that, first of all, your life would be a lot more rich. And second of all, that is your note in the song. And maybe the people around you who aren't harmonic to that will sort of fall back, so that the people who are harmonic to that will appear and be around you. But Manas, which is the rune of humanity and your part in it, that's what it is. And so you're sort of trying to face people with joy, but it turns into one of those toxic positivity kind of things where you don't dare to break that, because even by expressing who you truly are, and that's never going to be okay for you. So what you'll end up with is a hollow sense of worth, where on the outside, yeah, everything's fine, everything's good, everything's strong and rich. Inside it's hollow. So you need to bring this through so that you can become whole and feel more whole in the world and to become what you've always wished for. So what is going to help you is we have Ansus, which is the rune of communication and manifestation. Definitely express your truth. And if your fox aspect is part of that, or whatever this becomes when you take it into your hands, just let that be expressed. Let it express itself. Obviously, I'm not saying do anything illegal. Please do not do anything illegal or anything harmful or anything deliberately harmful. But this is part of who you are, and this is something that is a wonderful, pure, wild aspect of you, and that will make your life very, very rich and basically help you to embody what you wish for. It's wonderful. So express this. Start to express this in the world. Maybe bit by bit if you're not comfortable just yet, but just let the little fox peek out. Let the door be open and let the little fox peek out from time to time. But if the people around you react like, ugh, don't shut the door. Just let that fox out more. Basically. But yeah, expressing yourself and allowing yourself to manifest in the world is going to make things much better for you and start to fill in that richness in your life. What isn't going to help is there is an emotional aspect to this. We have Lagus, which is the rune of emotion, intuition, and heart. It's water. It's the flow of water, but it's all the watery stuff as well. So this might frighten you because, foxes being also relatively moody animals, this may frighten you, the sudden surge of emotion that is in your life. It's like big emotion. And, letting things flow like this, and also intuition, honestly, that's another thing. You may feel like that's not what the people around you want, but it may be what the people around you want. So, not that you're going to be doing anything for people. It's really, it's your life. You need to integrate this so that you can become what you've always wished for. However, it's generally speaking, less to worry about than you think when it comes to the people who care about you and who love you, who are going to want you to be happy and who are going to want you to be who you are. So if you're starting to worry about, but people don't like big emotion, people don't like when I'm intuitive, people don't like when I'm playful, or the flow of me, people don't like that, and I'm worried about drowning in this, bring yourself back up to, I'm just going to express. I've already got most of me out, but there's this little aspect of myself that I've been trying to keep contained that would make my life so rich to the point where it's going to help me become the thing that I've always wished for. Express this. It's going to help fill this in. And what this is going to lead you to, regardless of what it leads you to with these people who may or may not be what you want around you, or at least maybe not what you want around you in your new life. It might be, but I think this is sort of a abstract thing of the people around me. So I think the people who really, truly love you will not mind you being who you are completely, and who will want you to be happy. Either way, this is going to lead you to Uru's reverse. This is the rune of the wild ox. This has to do with strength and health, and sometimes stubbornness, but I'll get to that. It will lead you to, as this is reversed, inner strength that you've never known before. Like, you will feel, once you integrate this, you won't even care if people don't like what you've become, because you'll feel so whole and so magical and so true that you will have that with you, that nobody can really get at you with that. The other thing this is, as I mentioned, stubbornness. It's not really stubbornness so much as, when it's upright, there's a sense of resistance that you are able to dig in your hooves, and that's sometimes a really important thing, like when you're in the middle of the storm and you need to keep braced. However, when it's reversed and the hooves are lifted, this is like release. You're no longer resisting this element, and it's just this very freeing feeling of, I'm no longer resisting all the aspects of myself. Obviously, there are ones that you want to treat as counselors. You want to make sure that they pass through you and you say, okay, well, thank you for your counsel. I am not going to take it at this time, the kind of thing. But as far as this pure wild aspect of yourself that is going to bring so much magic to your life and so much beauty and so much of what you've always wished for, that's something that you're going to find that you no longer are going to want to resist anymore. You're just going to lift up your hooves and allow that. You're going to release that and enjoy that, and it's going to flow through, and it's going to be lovely, and it's going to contribute to your inner strength, and it's going to be fantastic, and I'm so looking forward to it for you. So finally, I'm going to draw a card from the Dragon Oracle cards, and I've been disclaimering this deck for the first 3 cards, and then what I pulled, except for the first one, didn't even need the disclaimer, so I'm just going to take a chance and pull it, and then if I have to reframe it, I will. So... Okay, so what of these cards do we need to see to wrap this up? Golden Solar Dragon. Okay, helps you stand in your, I'm going to say masculine, I'm just going to replace that with yang. Helps you stand in your yang power with wisdom. Let your DNA be reprogrammed and light codes activated. Become an inspired leader. So, to practicalize this, that was my disclaimer for the past 3 readings. I'm like, this deck can be a little bit not practical. So, I mean, it's I'm okay with it. It's the spiritual aspect of it, but I do want to try to make these readings as practical as possible, as usable as possible in the day-to-day. So for whatever this means for you. So sun energy, like the solar energy, this will help you stand in that solar, I was thinking about that when I was looking at this, where the sun doesn't care. It just shines. And that's what you're going to be like. Once you've integrated with this pure wild aspect of self, you're just going to shine. And it doesn't matter if people are uncomfortable with this, because you are just shining. And for the people who it is going to be great for, hooray, it's going to give them life. So you are going to be, whether or not you're going to be consciously a leader, by allowing yourself to shine and being fully who you are. People can look to this and people can say, wow, if they can do it, then maybe I can do it. As the song goes, the world is never as mad as it could be. And that's not a bad, and that's not a, if it was wilder, if people were as wild as they could be, amazing magical things could happen, and that's what we're looking at. So very exciting. That is your reading, card number 4, people. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.